So it's Wednesday, May 13th, and the topic of this particular Virtual Wisdom Council call is a wild new freedom. Before Eleonora gets started, I just want to bring your attention to the fact that there is one last seat left on the trip to Peru, which, oh gosh, the exact date. Oh, it begins September 10th, late on in the fall. So if you're feeling the call, now's a great time to get in touch with Eleonora while there's still one space left. And a little closer to home or available anywhere where you are online, is the next seasonal chill class, the spring Chumpy Illumination class. And it's open to everybody who has studied with Eleonora before, or if you're once you've come into these calls, you've got a pretty good familiarity, you probably can slot right in. You can sign up on the website on the events page. If you're curious about whether it's the right time to take the class, reach out to Eleonora. And on the events page, you'll see the rest of the schedule, including the advanced class coming up at the end of June. And then the summer chill class is at the end of August. So every month has pretty much something in store if you'd like to come and join us at the Sacred Center, either online or in person. So with that, I'm going to let in one more person and turn it over to you, Elle.
Hi, Denise. Hi, everybody. It's interesting how the times of when to have these virtual wisdom calls, aren't really like every 5 weeks, every 6 weeks. It's kind of like, nah, not right now, but like right now is a really good time to meet collectively right now. And the topic today I think, is very apropos too. It's about chaos and it's about collapsing old forms, scary, but if you do it intentionally or not, it's happening around us and within us anyway. Um, there's so much information out there that now even people who were so rigid in how they ate and how they exercised and how they did their spiritual stuff and their energy stuff is like, whoa, now I have so much more to choose from. What do I do? And then people are, all of us are getting tired of the same thing over and over again. And, we're really looking for some excitement, but more heart excitement or more freedom, rather than just, abiding by what we should do. There's what we should do and what creator, infuses us with. Like the thing that happens where like, oh, we have no money for this, but we're going to do it anyway. Or, we're going to enter this place, or we're going to travel here, or we're going to do that, or let me try this, or let me try that. So, energetically, though, this is not an easy thing to handle. This collapse, that collapse. And then there's a creative energy that's brewing within. And I think these calls now have shifted a little bit. So, the purpose really is to because every time like this day comes, I'll be really honest with you. I'm like, oh no, I got to talk about something. I got to teach something. It seems so weird. What am I teaching? And it doesn't really fit my language. But what I think we're doing is we're collecting together. We're creating a community, not the community of the old days, but a community where together something infuses within us, a healing infuses within us that we can't get individually. And that's reason enough to come together. We do our own individual work, we do our own healing, we improve this, we go here, we got, everything going, but collectively, some magic is happening now. Something is happening collectively when we come together, surrender, and collapse our egos into nothingness and into not knowing what it is. The surrender of a form that we created. We all want safety, so we create these forms of like, well, if we have this, then we'll be that. If this happens, then that. The if then, collapsing that for just an hour so that something else is bubbling within so it can grow and it could create itself. And then we don't know what it is, but hopefully, my guidance is that together this is what we're trying to do together. And it really fits the number one chumpy because number one is birth, and it's really a rebirth time, astrologically, too. Um, we entered a lot of firsts. It's the first time that these planets lined up together. It's the first time that Aquarius happened at this moment. There's a lot of firsts happening planetary wise as well to support this. So I just wanted to read what I wrote. So, and I wrote this, and then Marisa kind of put it into, good language. But I wrote this when I went into the city. I have clients in the city in Brooklyn. And it was really interesting because I ended up going to Brooklyn, Williamsburg, in my apartment there, and I felt like I forgot how I got there, you know, like then I got like, wow, and I had this joy within me. And then there was many things happening in my family at the time too. This one did that one did that one did that. And then there was a collapse where holding my linear mind, just I couldn't do it in the same way. So I got in the apartment, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting. And so I wrote it down, and this is what actually came. It was a wild new freedom and an emerging state of being or consciousness is upon us. So I really feel like this is a new state of consciousness that's upon us collectively. Unfortunately, it feels like chaos, and by definition, chaos is mighty uncomfortable. Our sense of order and comfort begin to crumble. Collapse becomes inevitable. Everybody here has experienced that, where you're trying to hold it all together and you say, like, fuck it, excuse my language, and it all is like, oh my God, like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Is it worth it anyway? I've got this job for 3 years. Like, what am I doing? Is it worth it? So the collapse is a surrender into what you don't know that you don't know. But we might have struggled in the confinement of the old systems. Let's face it, old systems are confining, period. But the wild new freedom that we have wanted for so long can seem even harder to handle, because chaos is very hard to handle, right? Because we want stability and we want to feel safe. The adrenals want to feel secure, like we're going to live another day, right? But what if we could navigate all these changes and actually find a way to settle in and enjoy the ride? Like, that's just, as I'm saying it, like I'm feeling it energetically, it's just the surrender of to the chaos, like, helps one go to a deeper level of unfamiliarity. Like, we want to feel safe. And this is like feeling not safe, but sort of not unsafe. It's somewhere in the middle. It's kind of an exciting feeling. And it's easier said than done, but one way to make this emerging consciousness possible and see this moment of crisis as a long moment of opportunity is to see it through the lens of rebirth. And we are having the rare chance to experience what it is to be reborn within the space of a lifetime. So life is movement, transformation, and illumination. And life will persist even in the face of collapse. So that's a great sentence, because no matter in the collapse, life is going to go on. And what are we going to do? And how are we going to adapt to it and tweak our lives a little bit and come out of the collapse and go like, oh, okay, maybe that's, maybe there, maybe there, maybe there. So rebirth because when you're born, you come from that consciousness where there is no separation, and then the soul comes through the body and then or through the womb, and then at a certain point forgets everything from whence it came. So having been through what we've been through, if we can go through birth and remember something of that oneness that we came from, even a little bit, I think that's the magic, and that's what's possible now, energetically, universally, astrologically, collectively. And, a lot of it has to do, there's so many parts to it because in the past, we knew our life and we knew even our country, but now we know everything, everywhere, every place, which, really creates a lot of chaos to hold all of that. So it's a perfect opportunity um, to like do a chumpy healing collectively now. Um, does that make sense, Sue? I don't hear you.
Yes. The answer is yes, because it's all about like who in the world knows anything about what's going on at all? All you see is like total chaos, underbelly of things, and like, but who knows at all what is going on? And so the only thing to do is to step into the middle of it because you can't figure it out. It's not possible. It's first of all, it's too much. How are you going to figure anything out?
But even like personally,
Yeah, personally.
so what happens when the outer world is chaotic, some of us shrink and like never leave the house, you know, and like make sure we have all our food because, the computers might go down, and, we want to make sure we have everything in our house, the security, the survival instinct, right? Um, and even if nothing, or we didn't know anything, we weren't like connected to what's going on around us, we would still have the great opportunity to really collapse forms that just don't fit the vibe right now. They're old. They're just old. And it doesn't mean that we have to replace it with something. The place in the middle, the collapse, is the interesting thing. If anything, I would want to imbue that energy within everybody collectively, is be okay with collapsing order, for now, because within that, there's some sort of serenity and security. Something is going to come of it, and I promise that, very shortly, where you're like, oh, of course. Ah, yeah. Let me put my money there. Let me do that. Of course. So that's kind of like and it's a second of like surrender. It's not like figuring it out. That it's an energetic thing, because we are, even in the classes, what we're trying to do is step outside of fight or flight. I always test kinesiologically how the index of everyone's stress level and everyone's adrenals. And it's amazing. Everyone's adrenals might come out to be they're functioning at 15. That means we're like hanging on. I mean, I'm sure years gone by, like the adrenals were like, oh, we need to do this. All right, let's go do that. But now every moment is a fight or flight response that we have to life, right? And there's good reasons for it, but we don't need to go into that. So let me just do that for a minute. Let me check collectively the stress level of the group, okay? On a scale, anything below 5, I would say is is acceptable. Above 5, no. Oh, I get 3. I'm really impressed. So let's see, let me just index everyone's collectively adrenals. So it's 30. So if somebody, I mean, it's being recorded, but it'll be interesting for me, like, say, a week from now, to check the group collectively to see if anything, if the adrenals got better. Because individually, we all work individually to get the adrenals stronger and stronger so that we could handle variety of stresses that come our way. But but I wonder if we get more collectively than individually, you know? I think so. So, um,
So how does that work if the stress level's at a 3 and adrenals are at 30%? I'm like, that's a little mystifying to me. Like,
yeah,
how does that work where, because the adrenals get stressed, right? Then they start to burn out. So this is so curious to me, like how that
I
works.
think I'm testing the now on the call where I'm really doing all the work and I'm presenting you with an idea. And I think it's the stress level of the group now of, on the call. But that doesn't mean that if you're like not stressed in the moment, that doesn't mean that your adrenals are stronger. The adrenals are a whole glandular system. So, but it just means that, yeah, we're all on edge, more or less. I mean, I laugh when people do meditate, like, just, yeah, meditate. Like, okay, sure. It's almost like too, like there's something that we need to do to contribute to our, like relaxation, obviously. But that's not the answer. So is that, Lori, does that make sense? That collectively we might be able to accomplish or to um, to have a rebirth?
Yes, I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me just read, because I read this. Sometimes I open this book and I'm like, wow, that you said that really good. That's great. I'm like, oh wow. So a birth awakens creativity, inspires a shift from old worn out patterns so you can embrace revitalizing new ways of being, and helps you release fear and victimhood. That's like an important thing, like, oh, because of that, it's because of that, the blame, and it's a collective thing too. We're part of the collective, like it's their fault, somebody else's fault, the division, you know. It's like you're here or you're there, you're pro this, you're anti that. And to have to have to have an affinity to something is to respect what your body, mind, spirit is being called to do at that given time. But it can change. It could change and be very fluid. So the so wait, I wrote something down here as well. The programming, I highlighted because we all have to admit that about ourselves, that we adhere to some program, right? And then we have to work, or we have to surrender to what we don't know that we don't know. And those two things can work together. Those two things can work together. In fact, as we do healings with the chumpies are a form. We put a form around us so that we don't have to think of the structure anymore. We don't have to fit into some idea anymore. we just could forget about, like, are we being helped outside, or is anybody here to do the work? We just could relax because we have a form around us. And then we could surrender and surrender to our heart, go deeper into our heart. I mean, that's the intention, to have a deeper relationship with our heart. That's not on an emotional level, but more on a divine level, you know, where there is no this and that, good or bad, and then come out of that with a preference, right? A preference towards something. That doesn't mean that, I don't think, this is for me, that doesn't mean that I have to like both sides of the coin. No, I have a preference to one side, but I don't just discard the other side. It's somewhere in there that I went, put them both together. That's the whole work of the Chumpies, is combining opposing forces so they create a third. They create something that you didn't know, right? That energetic process of healing is what this is all about. So we're just practicing, because we're not trained in this way. We're trained to pick something, stick it out and wait for it to go down and then create something else. If we could make our brains, if we could have access, scientists say, and physicists say that we're only using, I think, 27% of our brain capacity. And the scare is that AI is going to take over the rest of it, and then we'll that's the scare, But basically, it's such an opportunity to really practice this surrender of opposing forces. So we go like, wow, there's so much more to my brain than I had any idea, what it was all about. There's so much more potential that we have that we didn't even know. So the form that I picked out, or that I tested, was this one. I don't know if you could see it. It's kind of like, this kind of looks like it a little bit. A chumpy above or a stone above. If you don't have chumpies, don't worry. Just pick a stone. If you have the cards, use the cards. One above and one below, and then one on one side of the shoulders, and then the hips. Okay? And though I would like to have everyone do the same numbers. And I don't know if you could see it.
Yeah, just hold it right up like that. Yeah, we can see it.
Is there a number in the middle? Is it the
No,
No, there's nothing.
but I wanted everyone to put a stone on the heart,
A stone.
just like as
Okay.
a grounding.
I didn't see any of the numbers. I just saw the other person's face
Okay.
writing things down. Can you
Right.
say what the numbers are, please?
Okay, so the point on the top is 3, the one on the bottom is 1, and then on the right shoulder it's 2, on the left shoulder it's 4, the right hip is 8, and the left hip is 10.
Thank you. Shoot. Mute me again. I have to get muted and I don't see where I can do it.
Eleanor, can you
I'll take care
hold
of it,
that?
Dan.
Can you hold the paper up to your screen again? Because somebody else was talking, so then it was okay. But can you talk though then? Say something so yours your phone goes bigger or your picture.
Oh, you didn't hear what I said? Okay.
Put up.
Above the head is 3. Below the feet, at the bottom is 1. The right shoulder is 2. The left shoulder is 4. The right hip is 8. And the left hip is 10. And 5,
Can you
9.
hold it to the screen again though? Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I think we're
So
good.
if anybody's on this call without chumpies, without stones, has no idea what this is about, just enjoy the enjoy the meditation, okay? And you could always go back because it's what people are telling me is that they go back and they look at this on YouTube and they're very grateful that it's being recorded.
Elle, do you want to go ahead and test your sound and make sure we've got the bowl sounding good?
Yeah. Okay.
Probably, did you try to do your original sound for musicians as well? It's okay. Can you just see if you can if you go to the arrow next to the audio button and see if you can click original sound for musicians and see if that could improve it a bit.
It's checked, original sound for
Is
musicians.
checked? Okay. All right, cool.
Is there some place where I could make it louder or it doesn't matter?
No, it's okay. It's not dropping out, which is the most we can ask for from it. It's the as long as we're getting the full sound of the bell, the tone, I can still hear it in the background. So it's gonna
Okay.
work.
And when you're ready, we can meet back here. Um, so was, what was the word or what was the part of it that was lit up was alignment. Like the alignment, you know, our limitations are here and down, so, below. Even in old school healing, they would check your aura and it would, come out to here. This is the main control of our body, mind, spirit, the aligning with just more, right? The same, the same, the same core, but more deeper into the earth and more stretching out more above where we're used to, so that we could take in more, right? Because our consciousness is more. So, any observations, Marisa?
Um, it just felt very much like this sense of kind of coming home to the self as it is. And I think in that sense of whether the chaos is it works at so many levels, but so much of it, like I guess I've been aware of it, it's like in your, especially in your mid 40s, it's that moment of don't you dare look a moment older. And that's just been present for me. I've been talking about it with a lot of different women and what that's like. And I think it feels like for some reason that really was very present for me of that sense of how much chaos gets caused just by how we're meant to be in inhabiting our own skin. And it just felt like that sort of sense of just being able to come home to lying in what is, not in a in the most positive sense of surrender, as in being with what's true, not giving up, and just kind of um, allowing oneself to be held rather than the push to be something else.
Right, right. Rather do, just
Yeah.
receive. They say that the earth is actually breathing, it's expanding. Like the skin of the earth is was tight, now it's actually expanding. It's stretching out. Same circumference, but the pores are stretching out. So there's more vibration of the actual energy from what we're made of, like accessible to us, right? The earth doesn't care whether you're old or new or beautiful or not, or, like you know, the mulching is there, and, the mushrooms grow out of the mulch. Anyway, Energetically, though, there's more vibration coming out of the earth. So I think it also is us having access to that stretching and being what is, right, what is, and not what you think you should be, or hiding who you are, right? There's a lot of that we do. It's just, ooh. So that doesn't mean we can run around naked, although,
You got good bug spray and it's a nice warm day. Why not?
yeah, yeah, right. Sue, any other comments? You always have a,
It felt very visceral. Like I felt like hands on my feet, and then like I felt like a stretching, and then I disappeared. I have no idea. I heard your voice pop up, and I went, "Where am I? Where am I?"
yeah,
So
the interesting thing about, like starting out with the bowls and then all of a sudden something takes over and plays me. So that's when I think the forces that are around us that we just aren't used to having, support us in any way come in. So, the universe is conspiring on our behalf. I've heard that for a lot of decades, and it really is. It really is. So if anyone wants to text me anything or what they got, it's very helpful for me, and maybe for you as well. And any comments, that would be helpful. And I don't know. What anybody else have something they'd like to? Yeah, it seems like after this, it's better to just shut up. So I love you all. It's been great.
thanks so
And
much.
yeah, here we
Thank you,
go. Onward.
Eleanor.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
yeah.
It was
Okay.
beautiful.
Alrighty.
All right.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.